Ooh, that's the good stuff. Good morning. I'm Barrett, and welcome to another episode of What a Twist. I think we got a pretty good lineup of shows for you this week, and we're going to start with our first one, which is a Netflix original called Mystery Science Theater 3000 The Gauntlet. And here's the trailer for it.
Of the world stage, prepare to witness the most mind-bending act of movie ripping ever attempted.
I present to you the Gauntlet.
The Gauntlet!
The fucking acting is fucking horrible.
Can Jonah Heston, his robot jerks, and you at home survived 6 horrible movies back to back to back to...
The original used to be broadcast, I think it was made in Minnesota back in the early 90s, and it was way better. But this reboot, it's okay. And stinking piles of garbage that they chose to make fun of.
Kill me! Oh, God! That's it! I'm out of here, man! Adorable. At this point, I'm just stress eating. Oh, crap. Big strain for this?
God have mercy on our metal souls.
If I don't make it, avenge me! We should take a moment to pour out a little for those who didn't make it. Come on, man, let it flow.
Okay.
We'll tell you when.
All right, and that was the trailer for Mystery Science Theater 3000 The Gauntlet. It was released in 2018, has a running time of TV 14, and there's 2 seasons for it. This is a reboot of an old show that was first broadcast back in the 90s. I remember watching it back then and just loving the whole idea of how this guy and his 2 robot pals were forced to watch these god-awful B-rated science fiction and horror movies from like the 60s and 70s. The acting in that was pretty awful too, but it just seems to be a little worse in this one. But that's not what you're watching the show for. You're watching it to see them make fun of a bunch of other newer shows. These ones look like they're from the 80s, and it's worth a good laugh. I mean, if you can overlook some of the other things, the main focus is to just enjoy what they're doing while they rip the movie apart and make fun of it. If it looks like something that you're interested in, I give it a thumbs up. It was well worth the watch, and I hope you guys decide to give it a shot. Our second show is another Netflix series called Bill Nye Saves the World, and here's the trailer for it.
Let's do something fun! Come on!
That's what I'm talking about.
Actually, it's a couple of reboots. I remember this old one back in the 90s when Bill Nye first came out.
I don't want to get too sciencey, but get sciencey. That's my jam.
Save the world!
And the mic drop at the end. All right, and that's the trailer for Bill Nye Saves the World. It was released in 2018. It has a rating of TV 14, and there was 3 seasons for it. I've always liked Bill Nye. I think he's an amazing presenter who makes learning a lot of fun. It can be a little much sometimes, but you want to know what? If you want to just let your kids sit down and learn something new about science, or there are some other topics, as you can see, they talk about gender and a couple other things, which are, I don't know, kind of touchy for some people, I suppose. But if you're open-minded enough, yeah, sit down and watch it with your kids. It's great for that. It was a lot of fun to watch them again. So I kind of hope they make more seasons of it. Next is it's another Netflix series called Sound and Fury, and we're going to watch the trailer for it. And that was the trailer for Sound and Fury. That one was super short. As you can see, it's animated. It's an anthology series with a bunch of different episodes that make it up. It has a rating of TV mature and a running time of just over 40 minutes. And it came out in 2019. It's got a pretty rockin' soundtrack with Sturgill Simpson playing all the music. The animation styles vary quite wildly. It's kind of like Love, Death, and Robots, I suppose, in that regard. Kind of switches it up for every little segment that they make. For 41 minutes long, I thought it was worth watching. I quite enjoyed it. So if you like cartoons and you like a good rock and blues soundtrack and some fucked up cartoons, this will be right up your alley. Our last entry for today is a show that I found on the PlayStation Store. It's released by Funimation and made by Katakawa Studios. It's an anime called ID Invaded, and here's the trailer for it.
俺は思い出す。この子の名前はカエルちゃんだ。そしてその名前を思い出すことで。
The show kind of reminded me of The Cell. Did you ever see The Cell? No?
名探偵だ。
That was a fucked up movie. So it's like he's a detective in the real world, and then he gets entered into this computer matrix kind of thing, and he's trying to track down this serial killer. It's kind of confusing, and I won't do enough justice trying to explain it, but it was a really great cartoon. I fucking loved it. Anytime you die, you just respawn and come back again to continue your investigation. Yeah, it was definitely a fucking weird cartoon, but I thought it was great. It was released last year in 2020 and has a rating of TV mature. There's a lot of violence, no real language or nudity or anything like that, but it's kind of graphic with its presentation of what's happening to these victims and how this detective is trying to solve these crimes from inside this computer program. As far as anime go, I thought it was great. It was worth buying, and I'll probably wind up watching it again down the road sometime. If you have a Funimation account, you can find it on there. Otherwise, you can try to rent or buy the season on whatever platform that you happen to be streaming through. So I hope you or somebody decides to give it a shot. That's our episode for this week. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and tell your friends about us. Have a good one.